Good evening and welcome to the evening news. In the headlines, Amerindian Heritage Month launched, the Silver's House of Optics destroyed by fire, and Venezuela recommitted to good offices process. I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us for your Sunday, September 1, 2013 edition of the evening news. Now for the details. Scores of Guyanese converged at the Umanayana for the opening of Amerindian Heritage Month 2013. The event saw President Donald Ramotar and Amerindian Affairs Minister Pauline Sukai delivering feature addresses on the importance of the indigenous peoples to Guyana's overall development. Throughout the month, several activities will be held to mark the contributions of Guyana's indigenous people while highlighting the challenges facing them as a bloc. This year's theme is honoring our culture, advancing our future. Meanwhile, the People's National Congress Reform has extended greetings to the indigenous community as it celebrates Heritage Month 2013. The party in a release said it takes pride in its association with the many activities which are being held by the indigenous peoples of Guyana during the Heritage Month to showcase their talents in all its richness and significance and to popularize their various art forms, cuisine, and herbal medicines. The PNCR, while acknowledging that many programs directed at the improving of the lives of the indigenous people of Guyana, said more still needs to be done to satisfactorily improve the lives of the indigenous population. The party said, and I quote, "Immediate attention needs to be paid to the provision of adequate natural resources in these communities, especially for education, health, and transportation," end quote. The Silver House of Optics on Middle Street was this afternoon severely damaged by a fire after an air conditioning unit reportedly exploded. Bashar Mohammed was on the scene and has the details in this report.
One of the oldest colonial-type building, which housed the Silver House of Optics at 316 Middle Street, Georgetown, was ravaged by fire this afternoon, leaving the owners counting their losses, which is estimated to be in the millions. The fire reportedly started about 1300 hours in the upper flat of the two-story wooden structure and quickly spread to the other parts of the house. It was reported that the cause of the fire might have been an air-conditioned unit that exploded. At the scene, Fire Chief Marlon Gentle briefed the media on the fire, which was successfully contained by the Guyana Fire Service before it could spread to nearby buildings.
Just about 1,500 hours this afternoon, the Fire Service received several reports about smoke emanating from this building behind me. The units from Alberton and Central Fire Station were the first units dispatched. The Alberton vehicle, when they got here, they were forced to get here. When they got here, report the building heavily smoke-laden and visible flames in the center of the building. The alarm went up to second alarm. Campbellville and another tanker was dispatched. When they got here, the fire by then had, for all intents and purposes, engulfed the upper flat. There are some severe internal damages in the upper floor, and of course damages by water during the firefighting operations on the bottom floor. As I speak, we have the fire contained. There are still pockets of fire in the building because of its pretty old construction, the different types of construction. So there are a lot of cavities that we have to go through, room by room and ceiling by ceiling, to extinguish this fire. I must say that we have not been able to ascertain what may have caused it yet. We are still in the firefighting mode. But certainly something happened internally in the upper flat that started this fire.
A close friend of the owners expressed his gratitude to the Guyana Fire Service and Guyana Power and Light for the quick response.
The phone call that there was fire at the Silvers, things like being very close to the family. I came down and observed that that building, which is one of the oldest colonial type building in this area, constructed of old time pine. You could smell it. And I must say when I came here, there was a lot of smoke coming out. The GPL arrived on time, cut off the power, and also the fire department. They did an extremely good job in containing the fire.
A relative of the owner explained what may have caused the fire and who were in the building at the time.
We got a call from her saying the AC's on fire. So when we came, we just saw the whole building. We were just glad she came out. Nobody got injured or anything or hurt or anything. Luckily, everybody was out already. So that's.
She alone was in the building when the fire started?
No, she and her sister-in-law and her daughter, but all of them were sleeping and the fire woke them. I'd say majority of her belongings then were destroyed. I don't think she has anything left that's valuable.
The occupants of the house were unable to give a comment. The fire service is continuing its investigations. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
As Mining Week 2013 culminated with the annual Pork Knockers Day in Bartica Region 7 today, Minister of Natural Resources and the Environment, Robert Posad, highlighted the need for mining pioneers to continue to serve as an inspiration to raise the level of the sector's vibrancy. This event concluded 7 days of activities hosted by the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, the GGMC, under the auspices of the Natural Resources Ministry and under the theme Green, Clean and Responsible, Securing the Future of Mining. During brief remarks, Minister Posad acknowledged the role that pork knockers play, not only in developing the small industry, but the mining sector as a whole, making it the largest contributor to the economy. Minister Posad added that the Ministry and the GGMC are committed to recognizing the pioneers who led others, allowing government to boost the sector. Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana President Kit Nascimento said the major challenge for tourism in Guyana is securing reliable airlift in and out of the country. Sabatini Daniels reports.
TAG's President Kit Nascimento stated that Caribbean Airlines CAL is basically the only airline which is servicing the country, hence this poses a huge hindrance to the overall development of the tourism sector. He was at the time speaking during an interview with this newscast at his Century Palm Gardens Durban Backlands office.
CAL are a regional airline that fly internationally. They're not an internationally branded airline. We need an internationally branded airline. Not one, but many coming into this country. I know that the Minister responsible for tourism, Fanali, is working hard at that, and he has included the private sector recently.
The TAG president disclosed that at the recently held tourism expositions in New York and Canada, there were hundreds of Guyanese who said they would like to visit Guyana, but the prices for tickets to Guyana and back to their destination are too expensive. Turning his attention to TAG, he noted that it will be looking to persuade a number of major corporations in the country to understand the role of TAG in terms of developing the country's tourism industry.
TAG is an important lobbying organization, both with the government and internationally. We are also an important marketing organization, a private marketing organization. When tourism flourishes, every corporate member in this country flourishes. Tourism is a trade of which the entire economy and all the participation in the economy benefits. So we feel that major corporations in the country should be supportive of TAG, and I will be going to see a number of them.
Nascimento said TAG will also continue to encourage President Donald Ramotar to appoint Irfan Ali, who has been acting for the past 2 years, to the post of Tourism Minister since he has been doing a great job. Sabatini Daniels reporting for The Evening News.
President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, has called the age-old Essequibo border dispute between Guyana and Venezuela a colonial wound as he pledged his country's commitment to peacefully resolving the issue. President Maduro expressed these sentiments shortly after signing a joint declaration with President Donald Ramotar, recommitting to the search for a peaceful and practical settlement of the controversy in accordance with the Geneva Agreement of 1966. Under the Good Offices process, President Ramotar and President Maduro agreed to reappoint Good Officer to the United Nations Secretary General, Professor Norman Girvan, for another term. Addressing the press at the Guyana International Conference Center, Liliendal, Greater Georgetown, on his first state visit to Guyana, the Venezuelan president said the Essequibo dispute, and I quote, is not the responsibility of the independent nations of today, end quote, as he responded to a question posed by the local press. More news still ahead. You're watching The Evening News. This is The Evening News. Welcome back. E-Networks, the local cable company in Guyana, has launched several new features along the ESPN and HBO viewers line that Guyanese can now have full access to. E-Networks Managing Director Vishuk Prasad, speaking at the company's 10th anniversary on Friday, said the local cable company has added several new channels to the list of consumers' favorites. The company launched Dream TV, Fiber and Control 4. Along with this, customers will have access to ESPN Play, ESPN HD, HBO Home, HBO Max and HBO HD, among several other channels. According to Prasad, the addition would not have been possible without the continuous partnership between E-Networks, ESPN, HBO, and the other service provider companies. E-Networks, developed by Prasad, has forged many links to provide quality service here in Guyana. Within a short period, E-Networks Incorporated has steadily progressed to become one of the leading institutions in the local information technology sector. Ahead of the new academic year 2013-2014, approximately 150 students benefited from school supplies donated by Rubis Guyana Incorporated. Whitney Prasad reports.
Rubis Guyana Incorporation says the school supply distribution activity is one that seeks to meet the needs of children by advancing their education. On Friday, the incorporation presented school supplies to the Child Care and Protection Agency for the boys and girls between the ages of 4 and 17 at the Sophia Care and the drop-in centers. Rubis Retail Accounts Executive Rhonda Johnson presented the supplies, which included haversacks, water bottles, book covers, pencils, and pens. She said Rubis recognizes the benefits and value of a sound education.
We understand its transformative effects and its transformative ability, and we know that it is one of the mechanisms to catapult a person from their current socio-economic strata to another. And so this morning we want to exhibit, or we want to, in a tangible way, show our appreciation for, I shouldn't even say appreciation, but show our support rather in advancing education.
Agency Deputy Director of Children's Services, Teresa Game, during her address advocated for further support from other agencies as a social obligation, noting that children in residential care who lack the necessary parental support need the assistance and attention. She said the agency cannot do it alone. As such, she sounded a support call.
We are still calling on persons to come in and foster children. We have a number of children who are waiting support in terms of fostering. We all agree, and as a policy of the agency, we believe that residential care is a last resort, and we certainly are not in support of the fact that the number of children who are in residential care still are there. So we need as much support as possible for families to step in. This year, the foster care month is coming up in November. Actually, we've already started planning for that month.
To date, there are in excess of 800 abused and abandoned children cramped into 23 children homes, predominantly in regions 4 and 6. For the evening news, Whitney Prasad.
And finally in the news at this time, 6 persons are expected to be charged for the trafficking in persons following 2 separate raids in Rubis over the weekend, which led to the discovery of a quantity of marijuana and cocaine. In the first incident, police acting upon information went to the home of Kembleton Durway, aged 36, of Lot 185, Victoria Street, Cumberland East, Kanji, with the intention of conducting a search for arms, ammo, narcotics, drugs, and stolen articles. The search was conducted at about 11 hours 30 on Saturday. According to information received on arrival, the police rank entered the yard, and while at the front door, Durway reportedly jumped through a window with a black bulky plastic bag in his hands, while 4 other men jumped through another window and ran into a clump of bushes. Upon seeing this and being alert, police ranks apprehended Durway. Upon opening the bag in his presence, a quantity of leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis were discovered. During interrogation, the suspect admitted to the police that the cannabis was his and he would normally smoke it with his friends. He also told ranks that they were taking a draw when the police pounced on them. And with that, we've come to the end of the evening news, but of course you can find these stories and more in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times. And here's an invitation to join us on TVG Channel 28 and on Radio Guyana Inc. 89.3 in Essequibo, 89.5 in Georgetown and Varens, and 89.7 in Berbice and Unicary, Suriname. Stay tuned, we have Brit Reports. This is the evening news. Welcome back. Now for a look at your Brit reports. The Damrar Harbour Bridge will be closed on Monday, September 2 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours, and the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Monday, September 2 at 14 hours 50 for a period of 1.5 hours. And with that, we've come to the end of the evening news for Sunday, September 1, 2013. I'm Afanash Ramzan. Thanks for watching.